They called it the Great Silence. When the grid fell, it wasn't just power that vanished. Satellites, telephone masts, data, gone. One by one, countries blinked out. And then, nothing. No messages, no planes, no news. For 3 months, the world went dark. Society faced widespread disruption. The world descended into chaos. Without heating, lighting, or cooking, people suffered. Then they adjusted. At least our small island did. Battery-powered radios crackled with static. We learned to garden, to barter. We learned how sweet the air could be, how clear the rivers were. We were somewhat isolated from the world to begin with, but we learned how quiet the world really was without machines humming and screens flickering, without phones ringing and radios blaring. Then, one night, a voice broke through the static.
This is Station 13. Repeat, this is Station 13. Transmission begins at 2 a.m. The list will be read once.
It was a woman's voice, calm, flat, like someone reading a weather report. We thought it was fake. Just some survivor messing with equipment, until she read the first name.
Elias Monroe.
That was a neighbour, 3 houses down. He was 86 and lived alone. He was found the next morning by his home help. Face pale, eyes open, a trickle of blood down his nose. No marks, no wounds, just dead. We didn't make the connection at first, not until the next night, when the voice returned.
This is Station 13. It is 2 a.m. The list continues. Diane Keller.
At first, only a few were listening, mostly doomsday preppers who had kept their radios charged. But when Diane, the 23-year-old nursery manager, was found dead the next morning, people began to pay attention. They started talking. That's when we all started listening, really listening. As more people tuned in, the list of nightly names seemed to grow. First 1, then 3. One night, there were 7 names, always different places around the island. There was no pattern, no reason, no demands, just names. The day my radio died, I felt like I'd lost a limb. I had to rely on the chatter in the streets, the whispered names of acquaintances and strangers, the somber conversations. We tried to send help when we heard a name. There was even a small civilian task force hastily scrambled together, but no one ever arrived in time. They rushed to the address only to find an unlocked door, leading them to the same scene each time. An innocent person, motionless, dead, their radio blasting static in the background. We tried to track the signal. Some thought it came from the north. Others swore it was the coast. But no matter how many antennas were built or how far anyone travelled, the signal stayed the same, static, until 2 a.m. By the 4th week, there had been 106 deaths. People were starting to panic more than ever before. The island wasn't large, and 106 made up a substantial loss. There were theories. One claimed Station 13 was some leftover military AI executing old blacklists. Another said the government was never truly gone, just underground. Some believed it was a curse, a punishment, or maybe, somehow, a warning. But the voice never explained. Just the names, always the names. And then one night, she read mine. There was someone with me that night, a friend. We were drinking when I went to the kitchen for refills and...
Daniel McBride.
I didn't hear it, not properly, but my friend had. She tried to downplay it so I wouldn't panic, but I knew. There was no other Daniel anything on the Isle of Dreadmore. I sat frozen. I didn't sleep, I didn't blink. I waited for the pain, the nosebleed, the sudden collapse. But morning came, and I was still alive. For a moment, I thought it was a mistake. that someone else had moved here and shared my name. Or maybe she had misheard after all. But for a full day, I felt like a ghost. I kept checking my pulse, looking in mirrors just to make sure I was still there. People avoided me. They wouldn't meet my eyes. One woman crossed herself when I walked by. That's when I knew it was my name for certain. I wasn't dead, but I wasn't safe either. That night, I stayed up. I forced my radio on, swapping batteries from flashlights and smoke alarms, taping wires in places wires shouldn't be, until the static returned. And at exactly 2 a.m., she came back.
This is Station 13. Transmission begins.
There was a pause, longer than usual, long enough that I thought maybe something had changed. Then, one name.
Daniel McBride.
Again. My name, no mistake. I held my breath, waiting for more, but the list ended there. Just me. Just one name. And then, a sound. Faint. Behind the static. I turned the volume all the way up, pressed the speaker to my ear. It was breathing, slow, wet, close. And then it said, a voice so close, it felt like it was inside my skull.
You heard us that time.
The voice had spoken to me, not just about me, to me. I unplugged everything, fridge, lights, kettle, even the generator for good measure, plunging myself into darkness, just like the blackout. Every wire felt like a possible listening device. I taped blankets over the windows, stuffed towels under the door. I sat alone, clutching ancient candles, praying for the sun to rise. But it didn't matter. The static was already on before I lit my first candle. It was louder now, not white noise, something else, garbled, choking, almost organic. And buried under it, so faint I almost missed it. My name, over and over, Daniel McBride, Daniel McBride, Daniel McBride. Like a chant, like a summoning. I ripped the batteries out, and still the voice came through.
Open the door, Daniel. We see you.
I didn't. Of course I didn't. But the knocking started anyway. First soft, then harder. Not fists, fingernails. I backed away from the door until I hit the kitchen counter, hands shaking so hard I almost dropped my candle. And that's when the radio changed. No static, no voice, just a single sound. Something dragging, wet. That's when I started writing this. I don't know what's happening, but it's not natural. It's not the government. It's something else. The sounds are coming in short bursts now. Scrape, pause, scrape. Like whatever's out there doesn't have legs, or doesn't know how to use them. It's cold in here now, unnaturally cold. I don't know how much longer I can stay here. I tried the window earlier. It was frozen shut. It's August. I can hear it talking again.
We only needed you to hear us. Now, we need you to see.
I have one candle left, and it's almost gone. I think someone damaged the grid on purpose. I think it needs the power. It's using the electricity. They knew what was coming. I'm going to open the door now, I think. I need to see.
Found note. Official statement. Dreadmore Radio Task Force. This is Lead Ranger Thomas Moore from the Dreadmore Radio Task Force. We responded to the radio naming of one Daniel McBride at 105 Tall Oaks on Sunday 5th August 2053. We found Mr. McBride deceased in his property. The door was unlocked. No sign of a struggle, no sign of forced entry. As stated in the note found on Mr. McBride's desk, it appears he was responsible for unplugging the generator that powered Section 12. This caused major disruption across Dreadmore, resulting in widespread blackouts. Electricity has since been restored.